So what I usually do, I sort of work with slabs of clay, and just start by rolling stuff out on a board, semi-clean board. But I just love the way it smells. It just smells so darn good. So the thing I do is just sort of roll it out and then just sort of fiddle with it until I get some sort of shape that I'm looking for. And I start with an idea of something, but I also try to let what's going to happen. Remember Louis Kahn said, I saw a film or something about him, and he said, I asked Brick what he liked, and he said, the Brick said, I like an arch. So I always sort of the clay sort of, I have ideas about it, but then it also just sort of wants what it wants to do, and it's not necessarily what I planned. So I do try to stay a little bit, try to stay open to what's going on. Work it together and moosh it in. I sort of feel like when it's like this thick, this thickness of the slab, it's also it has a sort of muscular quality to it. I guess the other important thing for me is like working with ceramics is bad stuff happens. And, it breaks or it explodes in the kiln, or the cat knocks it down and you broke it, or it just pops off the wall and it's in these different pieces. But the thing that I've really learned to do is to work with the mistakes and of course it's always terribly discouraging when something breaks. It usually takes me a little time to get past that feeling of disappointment, but then it sort of always winds up being better than I could have, or it's something that I didn't even think about that happened, and then just really working with that, with the mistakes. Of course, it's not always possible, but usually it really is. It really is. Usually you can get it back. So that's a good thing. And that's how I started using some of the different elements that were not just clay, that were rope, especially to bind pieces back together, and also sometimes I used fiberglass to put them back together. So it's an opportunity when things break. It really is. These things, they don't like to be an arch, but maybe these will stick because they're really thick. Maybe they won't break. They'll break after we're done shooting them. So you don't have to worry about them. So I work with the clay when it's really wet. I don't really know how other people do it, but I like it to be really goopy.
Oh, that looks nice. The thing that I'm really trying to do in these is to get at this sort of dreamlike feeling, where there are these references present, but at the same time you don't quite know what it is, that there's an attraction and a repulsion at the same time. it's also important to me to keep sort of trying something new and exploring the limits of what I know how to do, and pushing myself further into it. And that, I guess the thing that I really like about the ceramics is it does just seem so suggestive to me. There are just so many possibilities within it. I just feel like there's so much for me to do in it. They do also have this sort of extreme fragility that's also sort of balanced by, how heavy they are. They weigh a lot, and yet they're covered with all this sort of delicate stuff. So that contrast, I guess I'm interested a lot in, the two sides of something, the heavy and the light, the beautiful and the ugly. Yeah.